welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing very nice. I'm sending a lot of hugs and positivity to all of you. Hi, if you're new, welcome to the channel. I really hope you enjoy the content, and if you do, please do consider subscribing. We are here for one of the best videos that I make on a monthly basis, where you guys get fresh new recommendations from my side and you get to know what I read in the entire month, along with the star readings for the book, which I don't usually give, though I think in the past month when I have been vlogging reading all of these books, here and there unwantedly I was deciding the amount of stars I want to give to the book. But generally when I'm making recommendations or I'm vlogging, I don't really give the review or the stars to a book, but in this video I do. We have a beautiful stack of books here. The cool part is that I have actually read all of these books except the first book in one or the other vlog. June was such a vlog heavy month in terms of videos, and I enjoyed it a lot. I loved vlogging what I was reading. I loved ranting about the book. I loved gushing about a book. It was so much fun. If you guys enjoyed the vlog content, let me know in the comment section and I will continue to do it in July. But for now, let's begin with the wrap up of one of the most beautiful reading months I ever had, and I'll give you some amazing recommendations. I'm going to be talking about the books in the sequence in which I read them, not according to the star ratings, so you may get a 5-star rating later in the video, so don't skip it. The first book, which is not there in any vlog, is Song of the Trinity, The Rise of Kali by Vadhan. I really hope I'm taking the name right. This is what the cover looks like, and when I read the description of the book, it just seemed like something really interesting. I read the Shiva trilogy this year, and since then I have been looking for mythology reads here and there, and this is a mythological fiction. Once I started reading the book and I read, I think it's the prologue or chapter 1, I was heavily interested in it. It starts with the story of Ashwatthama, that's what I know, who was cursed to live on earth forever in Mahabharata. His father was killed and he is looking for revenge, but then he was cursed to a point where he doesn't even remember his own name, and that is how the book starts. And this is like in 6500 BC, and then we come to the present day and we start reading the book from the modern times. Let me tell you, I thoroughly enjoyed the book. There were so many parts of it which I was like, oh, I know about this already. It is not something new because I have heard about it from my parents, from my grandparents, or I have watched it on TV earlier, and so there were like these pinpoints that was making me very interested in the story, that was making me feel familiar with the story. And apart from that, there was so much thrill and there was so much this avenging sort of energy that kept me on my toes, and it was literally a page turner. I thought of reading the book very slowly, maybe like 50 pages a day, but I couldn't. I finished it in 2 days because I couldn't keep the book. I only kept the book because I had other work to do. I just love it when mythology is mixed with thrill, and that is what this book is. So if you want to read The Rise of Kali, and Kali is not Ma Kali, it is the Kali of Kali Yuga, read this book. You're gonna thank me later. It is one of the best books I have ever read. I gave this book a 4-star. The second book is Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmus. This, I started reading it because I wanted to read something centered around women. I had been reading a lot of books that were centered around women and I was enjoying it a lot. I also bought a couple of books which were centered around women, and it's just really fun to watch all of these women going through things and then accomplishing things, or sometimes being a badass, or sometimes crying and battling with their emotions. It's just really empowering to read it, and it's really emotional to read it. I had my apprehensions about this book because it is a historical fiction. I have read historical fiction in the past, but I did not know that they are historical fictions, and so I never felt like, oh, what if I get bored with it, and I never felt scared with it. With this one, I knew that it's a historical fiction and I was like, what if I get bored with it? But once I started reading the book, I could not keep it. I have seen reviews of it. I have seen that a few people have found it boring in certain places, but that was so not the case for me. If I feel like it's literally written in the complete style of what I like to read, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's super duper easy to read even if it is a historical fiction. 630, which is my favorite character ever, so it is one of the best books I ever read. It is a story of Elizabeth Zott, who is a chemist in the 1960s, but at that time being a woman in science was not that easy. Honestly, it's still not easy because I read Love theoretically, and even in that, I mean, there were some experiences which were crossing over with this. I'm not in the science field, I only know what I'm reading, and it's just sad. Even then, our Elizabeth Zott is awesome, and she's a powerful character, and she has to take care of her child, Madeline, which is why she takes up on a job where she has to teach cooking. But she is not only teaching cooking, she is teaching cooking along with chemistry, which is also empowering other people to be who they are and accept themselves in their own skin. Even if you do get bored in some places, I think in the end you will enjoy it. I kept thinking about the stars I want to give the book, and I kept oscillating between 4 and 5 and 4 and 5, but I just can't give this book 4 or 4.5, even though yes, I mean, I think I would give it 4.5 if I was being completely like, oh, you know, critical and everything, but it just has a hold on me, and so I'm gonna give it 5 stars. After that came one of the best books in the entire world, and it was a no-brainer 5-star read for me, which was Happy Place by Emily Henry. I had heard such mixed reviews about this book. Some people like book lovers, some people like beach read, some people like people we meet on vacation. From what I have seen, people that like one book of Emily Henry do not like the other one, and honestly with me also, I like book lovers so much more than beach read. I've not read People We Meet on Vacation yet, and so I was utterly confused what I am going to feel about this book, and it was such a pressurizing thing for me to pick it up because I did not want to not like it. Also, just look at this edition, and it is a signed edition. Now imagine having the signed edition of a book and then not liking the book. How would that feel? But on the other hand, I did not want to be biased. I did not want to only like the book because it's by Emily Henry, and there was just like a lot of thoughts going on. But finally I read it after preparing myself for a long time, and I loved it. I loved it. This book, honestly speaking, is even better than Book Lovers when it comes to the writing style. Every single book that I'm reading of Emily Henry, the writing style is improving, and it's delicious. This is a story of Harriet and Wynne. They are a couple, but they separated a few months ago, I guess. But they take a yearly vacation with their friends. They go for the yearly vacation, but their friends don't know that these people have separated, and now they have to act like they are together because they cannot tell their friends that they have separated for multiple reasons. Now, first of all, I was like, why have you separated? That has to be a good reason. Second of all, why can't you just tell your friends that you have separated when you are like the best friends of your whole world? But the reasons as to why they did not tell their friends, the reasons as to why they were separated, it was beautiful. It was completely valid. There's a little bit of miscommunication in the book, but I think that it is not the kind of miscommunication where you're like, just speak, dude, like if you just speak, everything will be fine. That's not the vibe. I think that there were a lot of things that were left unsaid from both their sides, but in a way where the other one does understand a little bit. And then there were these beautiful, vulnerable conversations between the friends and Wynne and Harriet, and among the friends, and the friends are so good. I love Cleo so much, and the whole relationship of Harriet with her parents, the relationship of Wynne with his parents, it was also utterly relatable, especially Harriet and me. Sometimes it felt like we are photocopies or something, so that added to the feelings of me loving the book. And so this book is a 5-star. It is a very easy book to read, so you can read it even if you're a beginner. After that lovey-dovey awesomeness, I decided to read a thriller, and I read The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. I do not have a good experience with Riley Sager. I read Lock Every Door by Riley Sager as the first book, and I bought that book with a lot of money. It was the cheapest book of Riley Sager that I was getting at the time, and so I bought it, but it was still really expensive. And I get messages from you guys or comments asking, Anshul, what do you do when you buy a book but you don't really like it? Like, it's like money wasted. I know it is like money wasted. Now I have spent so much money on that book and I don't like it, and it's just sitting in my shelf. What am I gonna do about it? Nothing. That is why I started this channel, because I wanted you guys to get good book recommendations. Even though our tastes may not be similar to each other, at least you know what you can expect and make a decision. So yeah, I don't know where that came from. But after that, now I had this book, and I was already scared to dive into it. Once I started reading it, my opinions changed completely. I love the writing style in Lock Every Door. Also, I love Riley Sager's writing style. It's very atmospheric and it makes you feel creepy. But the main thing was, what was the plot twist of the book? And the plot twist after plot twist after plot twist after plot twist, which are like 2000 plot twists towards the end of the book. I think the last 100 pages are all plot twists. They were awesome. I loved it. I did not see it coming. It is a story of a woman. She lives and she's looking into the house across the lake, and there is a couple in that house, and it seems perfect, but things are not always perfect. But I really blanked out there, and you see what happens after that. That's all I can tell you. But is it worth the read? Yes, definitely. I want to give it a 5-star, honestly, like somewhere in my heart. The kind of plot twists they were, it was just not the kind of plot twists I read, and it was still a little weird to me. So I can't give it 5 stars. I think I'll give it 4.25 stars or 4.5 stars, because it was definitely amazing. Again, easy to read, so you can read it as a beginner. In the end, in that vlog, I read Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, look at that cover first of all. It's literally the most beautiful thing in the world. It's very difficult to encapsulate all my thoughts and feelings into words when I'm talking about this book. It is a story of Sam and Sadie. Sadie goes into a hospital room and she's a kid, and her sister already is suffering through something, and she sees a kid over there and they just start talking, and the kid is Sam. And then when she exits the room, the nurse talks to the mother of Sadie and she's like, were Sam and Sadie just chatting with each other? And the mother was like, yes. And the nurse was like, wait, but like Sam has not talked in the past 3, 4, 6 weeks to anyone at all, because he had been in an accident and he was not talking to anybody and he faced an injury. They meet again after a few years and they get together and they start to build games. There is so much more than that is going on in the book. You get to see the past of Sadie, you get to see the past of Sam, you get to see Sam's mother, you get to see Sam's friend, you get to see the love between Sam and Sadie, but it's not really love. There's a little bit of miscommunication, which is a little annoying, but not in the annoying way. I don't know how to explain it. I actually genuinely enjoyed it. And you get to see what happens with all of these relationships and all of these characters. There was a lot of game development involved in the book, and I am not a gamer in any sense. I do not enjoy gaming at all, no matter which game it is. I mean, it is something that I will never do. I do not like at all. So there were some parts where I got genuinely bored. There were some parts where it was described as art and I did not get bored over there, but some parts where it was like a little technical, I was like, no, I did not want to read it. But apart from that, you keep reading and you keep reading the background stories of everyone. Then a section comes which is the NPC, and after that everything goes silent, and after that you don't care whether you're reading about games or whether you're reading about somebody's past or whether you're reading about the characters and their lives or what's going on between them, because after that you're just so attached to the book that you don't care what is to come. You will read it because you want more of this book. That impact of NPC is only felt because of the entire build-up of the whole book, and whatever happens after NPC, you can only feel it because of the entire build-up throughout the whole book. And you come to know the meaning of the title and the cover, and it's just one of the most beautiful experiences ever. It can be a little difficult to read if you're a beginner, but if you do enjoy literary fiction or you want to dive into it and you're like bored of other genres, then I think this is a beautiful book to start with. I have to give this book a 5-star because it's so beautiful, even though I did get bored with the gaming part. Then came the LGBTQIA+ video, where I read 5 LGBTQIA+ books for 5 days, and the first book I read was Fake Dates and Mooncakes by Shirley. This is the story of Dylan and Theo. Dylan, who is trying to save his restaurant, and Theo is this rich, hot, nice guy, and they lock eyes with each other in a certain scene, and after that they start to go out together and you see their journey. They come from different backgrounds, which stands as a problem between them. So you read it and you come to know what they do with it, how they overcome the differences, and in all it's just a very short, nice and cozy read. It was literally like I am sitting in a cafe and I can hear the hissing of an espresso machine, and I can smell coffee, and I can smell like baked goods, and sunlight is pouring in from the window and I'm just sitting there taking it all in. That's how I felt when I was reading the book. So it's super cute, it's super amazing. If you want to read something light, if you want to read something cozy, this is your book. Gave this book a 4 star. Next we have Loveless by Alice Oseman. I finally read it, you guys. It has been on my TBR since ages at this point, and now I have read it. This is a story of Georgia, who is very afraid of actually being loveless in her life. She's trying to find romance and she has romanticized love so much, and she sees all of the people around her falling in love all the time. It's so easy for them, then why is it not easy for her? And you read what happens with that. She also has her 2 best friends and you see what happens with them, her relationship with them. I have never seen the journey of a character going from, oh, I do not like this part of myself at all, to recognizing what it actually is, to not liking that part at all, to actually moving on to accept that it's okay, to falling in love with yourself. There was this whole journey of Georgia in this. All the conversations between the friends, it was super vulnerable also. It was highly predictable though. There were not like a lot of plot twists, but it was a beautiful read. I gave this one a 4 star. Next up, we have one of the best books that I read in June, which is Casey McQuiston's Red, White and Royal Blue. This is the story of Prince of Wales Henry and the first son of America, Alex. They fall in love. It is difficult for them to be together, so you get to see what happens with that. This was a no-brainer and it was a 5-star read because of just how amazing it was. The writing style amazing, the representations amazing, the other themes amazing, the royalty quotient amazing, the political quotient, even though I don't read politics in books a lot, super duper easy, super duper amazing. I loved every single part of it. There were so many scenes where I was like, did that just happen? Oh my god, that's so cute and that's so adorable. And it was a full-on experience. The writing style actually made me feel like I am watching it in my mind, and I loved the ending. And it was not just about the 2 main characters. Even the side characters did not feel like side characters. They were like so essential to the story, and I loved so many of the side characters too. Now I watched the trailer yesterday only and I loved the trailer so much. The movie is coming out on August 11th and I can't wait for the movie to come out. So next up, I read Call Me By Your Name by Andre Aciman. This book has been such a confusing thing for me, because whenever I think about the writing style of the book and the way it's been written and the way it has expressed all sorts of emotions of desire and longing and the need to be with someone and sort of like borderline obsession with someone, it's just no book has ever described that so beautifully. But on the other hand, there were some scenes which I was like, why are you there? Also, not the kind of book that you read in 2 days. It's not a page turner. You have to take it really slow. So I got a little bored also. But at the end of the day, do I like the book? Yes. I am so happy that I have this edition. I also watched the movie. I don't like the movie. I mean, if I was to give stars, I would give the movie 2 stars because it was not bad as an adaptation. And I do like the casting. But so many important scenes are like not there. And I don't know what you're doing then. Like if you're not putting those scenes in the book. Like that was like the main thing in the whole book, especially the ending. The ending was so not what you read in the book. I think the ending is what gave me this confusing feeling, because I loved the ending so much of the book. I think beginners should read it, though obviously it's your choice. And I gave this book, no, I'm still deciding on the stars on this book, you guys. Let me still think about it. Next up, we have Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood, which is a story of Jack and Elsie. Jack and Elsie are academic rivals, and you see their story from that, what happens after their academic rivals. They're both scientists, and this is the book I was talking about, because even and then when it comes to the representation of women in science, I could still see the inequality, which is just sad, because that is in the 1960s and this is what, like now, right? So I wish things were different, not in the book, like in the real world, because I read in the end of the book, Ali Hazelwood has said, because she was in the field herself, whatever struggles Elsie has been going through is actually real, and I'm like, it's just sad. That's just sad. But the book is not sad. Sorry. The book is actually super duper romantic and cute. I love Jack. I love everything about Jack. Now, there were definitely some parts where I did not enjoy Elsie's character, so I am going to give this book 3.75 to 4 stars. Easy to read, you can read it even if you're a beginner. There's a little bit of spice in it, but like literally in the last few pages. Then we have If He Had Been With Me by Laura Nolan. This was actually a surprise for me because I was not expecting to like this book at all. I don't know why I have it. I mean, I did not know why I have it. I have no idea. I don't even know why I picked it up. It was a very, very random choice, but I did. And now I'm in love with the book. The first 100 to 200 pages, they were a little meh, you know, like, oh yeah, okay, like shit is going on. But then after that, it just became insanely beautiful, the writing style. Also, the tragic thing that happens is there in the first 2 pages, and I already knew that. And knowing that already was one of the best things that this book did. Because if I did not know that, and then the book ended the way it did, 1, it would not have that sort of an impact on me, and 2, I would hate this book forever, like literally hate the book forever. After all of that, you're telling me that this happens, I will hate you forever. But I already knew what's going to happen. But then when I was reading it, I completely forgot that it's going to happen. I don't know how that happens. First of all, am I dumb or something? I don't know. I don't know if it's the second part or what, but another book is coming in October, I guess, which is If Only I Had Told Her. And I am so insanely excited for that book. I thought that that book is from Finn's perspective. That's what I knew. But when I searched it on Google, it says it's not from Finn's perspective. So I don't know what's going on. This is also young adult, so you can read it if you're a teenager, if you are a beginner. Very, very easy to read. It is a sad book. So it's an amazing rainy read. And I gave this book how many stars? Really want to give it 5 stars, but you can't give a book 5 stars when till 200, like half of the book you were like meh, right? So 4 stars. I'm gonna give it 4. Yeah, 4 stars is amazing. 4.25 or 4 stars. Awesome. In the end, we have Trust Me by T.M. Logan, which is a thriller. I read this book. Why? Because I like the way it feels in my hand, and I love the premise of the book. A child is given to a woman, and the woman did not know the woman that gave the child to her, and child has a note which is, please protect Mia, don't trust the police, don't trust anyone. Our main character is like, wait, what just happened? You see the journey of what happened with the child, why the child was given, everything. Do I like the book? No. I mean, I'm actually mad at the book because I think that the premise is so good, and I think some parts of the book were really, really good and thrilling, and I like the writing style, but the pacing was horrible. Why would you do that to me? You know, firstly. Secondly, it was not tied up properly in the end. I mean, there was this 1 or 2 things which I did not come to know. I mean, it did not end only. So I'm actually really mad at the book because I really wanted to like the book, but I did not. But maybe your experience will be different, so you can go and try it out. It is great for beginners for sure, and I gave this book 2 stars. Yeah, 2 stars. 2.5 stars out of 5. That's still 50%. That's a lot. And with that, we come towards the end of the video, you guys. The sun has gone since a long time, so I'm sorry about the lighting, but we are done. This was my reading month. What do you guys think? Wasn't it beautiful? Wasn't it amazing? I really hope you guys enjoyed the video and you got at least 1 recommendation. I am coming up with multiple other book recommendations, which is going to blow your mind because I am doing crazy things here as a reader. I'm doing things that I have never done before, and I'm so excited to share all of that, those things that I'm doing for the first time with you guys. I'm happy I'm not alone in this journey. I'm happy there's someone with me. So yes, stay tuned for all of the upcoming videos and book recommendations. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Bye.